Hello everyone. Trying to find a way to stand this up. My name is Harney, aka Labcat Creations, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm doing something a little bit different today than what I usually do. Sorry, I still just woke up not that long ago. It's hard to think. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find my phone stand because my hand is shaking and this is not good. Okay, so this is probably the better way to turn it, right? I don't know. Hi. I'm doing something different today. I don't even know where to look, Jesus. So I know that I usually do art videos and there will be some of that, but I noticed recently that a lot of people on my Instagram and stuff have been watching my stories when it relates to my health, so I kind of wanted to try vlogging, kind of, like a day in the life of EDS, sorta. I don't know, it's an experiment. If you want to watch it, here we go. I have no idea what I'm doing. We'll find out as we go along. And if you don't, then I don't blame you because I don't know what I'm doing. So, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a connective tissue disorder. And basically what that means is that everything that's supposed to hold your bones in place doesn't. So, I bend and sometimes things dislocate. I have a whole bunch of health problems related to it. My skin is really stretchy. Check that out. And basically I'm 24 right now, but I have the skeletal system and organs and whatnot of an 80-year-old. So my brain age does not necessarily match my body. The one good thing about it is that I can use my hand for weird art references. That's pretty much it. Sometimes I use a wheelchair. I had to change my diet because randomly at 22, I have an intolerance to gluten, so that's fun. Also, I was raised in the South, so freaking everything has gluten. Yeah, also, I've never done this on my channel, but if we're doing a day in the life, might as well, because I'm gonna be doing this. This is my vape. I use it. Please don't give me hell for it, because I'm not gonna listen. Whatever. That is little man. He scratches at the door sometimes when he wants attention. Okay, so just that those are the basics of EDS. If you have more questions, please Google them, because having to do a spiel every time somebody asks me what's wrong with you is kind of irritating. Another thing that it does is it makes your brain process things slower. I'll know what I want to say, but then it's hard to get it out. So Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I woke up, I stayed up until 4 p.m. last night. Remy, why you being wild? That's my cat that stays in the office. My other cats are in the other room. But I stayed up until 4 last night working on Inktober. And yeah, I got 2 done. It was cool. And then today, since I didn't have to go to work at my other job, I work at a glass engraving company, which is actually a lot of fun. I'll talk more about that later, probably. I don't know. I was able to sleep in today, so I slept in until about 1 p.m. I don't have my curtain open or the lights on yet or anything, because something that I have to do when I first wake up is just sit for a minute and let my bones fall back into place. So sometimes I'll wake up and I can't move my wrist from this because it hurts too bad. It's put too much pressure on the joints and it kind of got stuck. And so slowly I'll have to do this. I don't know if you can hear it. So I don't know if you can hear that, but it clicks back into place, and then I'm able to slowly kind of move it around and get the muscles and the tendons and stuff. A lot of times my shoulders will pop out of place while I'm sleeping, especially if I sleep on my side. I'll wake up and it'll just be chilling oh, hey. And basically when I wake up, the first thing that I feel every single day is a big ow. It's just consciousness and then ah. But I've kind of gotten used to it, sort of. It's strange, but it's very hard to move around, and I'm very slow thinking. It usually takes me a while to get up and get moving and eat something or get dressed, so I have to allot extra time for becoming conscious. He literally never uses his scratching post, and now he is, because I think he knows I'm recording. You're a rascal. Yeah. But, yeah, so this is the waking up process. Not very interesting, but it's what I do. Also, my hair is getting really long. Little man. Okay, so I cannot find my phone stand. I think I left it at work because my job, like my other job that I actually leave the house and go to, allows me to I can watch YouTube on my phone or listen to music and stuff, and I just like sitting it up so that way I can see without having to really look away from what I'm doing, because I work with my hands. So yeah, I just sit there and it's like I peel stickers all day, which is kind of fun. Story time, I have OCD, so when I was a kid, I would pick at almost everything, and I didn't know why. Like, I would tear stuff up, I would get in a lot of trouble, and I would feel really bad about it, and here in my adult life, I have found a use for that skill that I acquired throughout the years of just destroy, so now I can sit there and do that. It's actually really fun. I really love my job. For a long time, when I was younger, like 18, just moved out of my dad's house. I was living with my mom then. I was trying to work regular jobs, and I got fired from GameStop, which was my very first job. I worked at GameStop for a couple of months, and then I got fired because I misread the schedule because I am a little bit dyslexic too, so that's a thing. Sorry, I just got an Instagram notification. Oh, cool. I'll check that out in a minute. Where? God, Jesus. That's another thing. You'll lose sentences and stories in the middle of them. Hold on, where was I? I don't like showing this part of it on camera because I feel dumb. That's just the reality of it. I feel stupid because I was just talking about something. GameStop. I was talking about GameStop. Yeah, I'm a little bit dyslexic. Like, I get numbers and letters mixed up sometimes. Mainly numbers. I don't know. That's kind of a lie because I also get letters really mixed up, which is absolutely hysterical when I have to go to the post office and ship stuff out. That's why, if you've ever bought anything from me, that I ask you to send your name and your address in a separate thing, so that way I can just copy and paste it and get someone else to confirm it, so that way I know it's going to the right place, because I will write something completely wrong, but to me it looks right and it's just not. So that's something that I realized at about 18. Like, I was starting to realize, I was like, oh, well, I just wasn't paying close enough attention. No, like, you got it mixed up. So I got fired because I didn't show up on Black Friday. I thought I was supposed to come in at 6 a.m. Turns out I was supposed to come in at 11 p.m. the previous night and then leave at 6 a.m. Like, I got the end of my schedule mixed up with somebody else's and also moved it down a slot. Like, I don't even know. I don't know the science behind it. I just know that I looked at it and I confirmed it about 5 or 6 times, and I was like, okay, this is when I go in. I have to be up at this time, and I have to go in, and I have to be there. Well, I woke up early, and I saw that I had about 5 or 6 missed calls from GameStop, so I called them, and I said, hey, what's up? You know, you guys called me. Is everything okay? Like, did something happen at the store? And they said, were you planning on coming in at all? What happened? I said, I'm on my way right now. I'm just getting my uniform on. What's up? They said, well, you know, you were supposed to be here last night. And I said, no, I wasn't. They said, yes, you were. Check the schedule. So I checked the schedule, and there it was. I was supposed to be there last night. And I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. They said, unfortunately, you were no call, no show. We're gonna have to let you go. And I just said, okay. And then I hung up the phone and I laid back down and I kind of curled up in a ball and I was like, eh. Little man, if you could chill for 5 minutes. I'm talking about trauma. Stop it. Stop that. The next job that I got, was, God, what was it? I'm trying to remember the order. I've only ever had a few. The next job that I got was a job at, yeah, it was the hospital. Okay, so I also used to be a housekeeper at the hospital, like where I live. And so I would go in and I worked third shift because I'm more of a night owl. Dude, hold on one moment. Could you chill? Go. He's being crazy today. He usually doesn't do this. I guess it's because I'm talking. And again, where was I? Christ. Sorry, I get like cat fur and just... We have 7 cats in this house and a dog. Like, it's a lot of babies. And, yeah. So, yeah, I used to work as a housekeeper, and I was third shift because I'm more of a night owl anyway. And so I actually really liked that job. It was pretty cool. I would go in and I would like clean up the rooms, but the way that they trained me was to have me work at the big hospital. How it is here, Jesus, is there's a big hospital and then there's a whole bunch of like little medical centers, and like the smaller ones are prepared for more like, oh, I came in and I broke my arm, or there's a kitchen knife in my foot, like that kind of stuff. And the big hospital is more like, you have a tumor up inside your body, like, let's get that. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, Grey's Anatomy is the big hospital, and like Untold Stories of the ER is the little hospital. That's the best way I can describe it, I guess. So they trained me at the big hospital, and I went in and I worked third shift cleaning the operating rooms, which I don't know if you've ever cleaned an operating room, but it was crazy. It was crazy because it's not what you think. I went in and I was like, oh, there's just gonna be like blood like on the table or maybe on the floor. Like, I've seen Grey's Anatomy. I know how a hospital works because I was a stupid teenager and I was like, TV's real. So I went in, and the first one that we cleaned, it was actually relatively clean already. It was very strange. It was like they had already cleaned up afterwards, and we were just going in to make double, triple sure that everything was sanitized and like everything was clean. Any trace of anybody that had ever even been in that room before was gone. You had to wear a hairnet and like special clothes and all of that. And yeah, by the way, in the like TV shows and stuff, when they're playing music in the operating room, that's real. They have like a little speaker system for it, and it's really cool. But so I go in and I'm cleaning, and we had to mop the ceilings because sometimes mess would get up to the ceiling. I repeat, the ceiling, which was just crazy to me. It was just crazy to me. And so, yeah, I would have to, of course, lift my arms out. And this is before I knew that I had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. This is before I had any idea that anything was different about my freaking genetics, my genetic makeup. So I thought I was just like a little weak-ass baby. I was like, I can't. And so the woman that was training me would help me out a lot. She was really nice, and she kind of like took me under her wing. And the thing that I loved most about it was that if we got all of our stuff done, we had, of course, like 8 hours. Yeah, it was either 8 or 12. Sometimes it would be 12, but most of the time 8. We had about 8 hours, and if we got all of the rooms that we were assigned to and helped everybody else, like, everybody kind of helped each other on the operating floor, and that was the top floor. And if you got everything done early, you could just kind of sit and take a breather. And every night I would sit, and it's like my hips and my legs and my feet and my knees, my shoulders, my arms, my elbows even would hurt just from walking around and like lifting that stuff and crouching down and cleaning. But I really liked that job, so I didn't want to say anything. But after they transferred me to the smaller hospital, I was doing pretty much the same thing, but just in the emergency room. Like, I was cleaning the emergency room rooms, and that wasn't as much of a tedious process because 9 times out of 10 people would just go in there and lay on the bed. The doctor would tell them what was wrong. They would get up and they would leave. So, I mean, we still cleaned everything, but it wasn't like mopping gunk off of a ceiling. You know what I mean? And, but the people there were what made me quit. Because I also have really bad, like, social anxiety and stuff. I loved working at the big one because I didn't really have to talk to people. I only spoke to people if I wanted to, because that floor was empty by the time we would get up there. Nobody was up there anymore. They don't keep people in the operating rooms. Like, it was a ghost town, completely empty. But at the smaller hospital, there were nurses, there were doctors, and I know that it's probably not like this at every hospital, but at the one that I worked at, the nurses were so mean to housekeeping. Like, just shooting daggers at me every time I would have to sweep, like, where they were working. And I understood that, like, you're busy, you're trying to make sure everything's okay, you're trying to make sure everything's all right, that's fine, I'm not going to take it personally, I just have to sweep up under here and get your trash real quick, and then you go back to doing your thing. The thing that got me was when there was this one person sitting there, and she was, like, watching something on the computer, and not, like, doing paperwork, not talking to anybody even. She was doing that, and I went to, I like, asked her if she could please move, and she snapped at me. And I know that she, like, probably had a bad day or something, but that just, I was like, oh, God. And it scared the crap out of me. And then somebody that worked the shift after me yelled at me and got in my face about trash bags, which I was doing right. She was doing it the wrong way. She was doing way, like, more than you were supposed to. And I was doing it the way that I was trained to do it. Like, I shouldn't have to do my job around how you like to do your job. If you like for there to be a certain number of trash bags, go behind me and put an extra one in. Like, it'll take 5 minutes. But she screamed at me, and this is a grown, like, I'm still, like, 19. And this is a grown woman in my face screaming at me. And so I quit that day. I quit. I was like, I can't. Everybody here is way too freaking hostile. I can't do that. After that, I worked at Walgreens, and while I was working at Walgreens was when the EDS really started to kick in, and, like, because, I mean, it was noticeable my whole life that something was off, but this is when it was, like, hardcore pain started to kick in. Every night after, like, you can't sit down when you work at Walgreens. You're not allowed to sit. You have to stand, and you have to talk to people, and you have to stock shelves and stuff, and if you don't stock them fast enough, then everybody else gets mad at you. But yeah, I had to vacuum the front of the store, and every day I would come home just sobbing because my feet hurt so bad. And I didn't know that at the time, but what was happening was that since I was on my feet for so long, my feet were, like, subluxing. And a sublux is different than a dislocation. A dislocation is when, like, the joint is completely out of place. Like, it looks wonky, it hurts really bad, and it's just, like, it's visible. Like, you can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it. It's like, here is the socket and here's the joint. It's out. Like, it's flopping around. A subluxation is when, here's the joint, here's the thing. It's clicked, and it's not completely out, but it's, like, it's still putting way too much pressure on that. It can pinch nerves, and it's just very uncomfortable. So that was happening to my feet, both of them. They were just, your feet are supposed to be like this, mine were like that, and it was just, and I didn't know why, I didn't know what was happening, so I would come home and I was crying. I would go to work and I was crying because I was still hurting from the day before, and it just didn't work. And after that, I did babysitting for a little while. I didn't really like it. I just didn't. I don't like being responsible for small children's lives. That ain't me. So I thought, well, maybe I can't. No. No. I like being able to do what I want to do. Like, you go and watch TV or something and leave me alone. Like, don't bother me, like, unless it's a big problem. Like, you'll figure it out. Not really, but it just, I don't know. I don't like it. Nah. I can handle kids when they're, like, someone in my family, or if it's, like, my friend's kid, but if it's just some strangers' kids, like, I mean, I like the nice, chill kids, but it's the freaking wild kids that kill me, because I can't keep up with you, man. You're tiny, and you're small. I don't know if you're gonna bite me. Like, you're screaming. Settle down. And so I quit that job after, and I wasn't getting paid very well either. I would have to be there pretty much every day, and I wasn't really getting paid well, so I quit that job. And then after that, I started doing art. I went to my mom and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I wish I could just sit home and make art all day. It's what I know how to do. It's what I enjoy doing. I wish I could just do that. And she looked at me and she said, well, why don't you? And that changed my life. So I started doing art full time. And I'm not going to lie, in the beginning, people probably bought it from me because they pitied me. Like, it was bad. I look back at some of my older stuff and I'm like, how in the hell did I see this and think, yeah, that's legit? Like, no. So I've been doing that for, God, let's see, yeah, about 5 or 6 years now. I don't know how to math, but yeah. And then I got a grant from someone here in the community that I live in. I got a grant for doing art and to support my art career. So I started, like, I got a desk, I got some proper supplies, I got better materials. Like, I was finally able to use something other than a Sharpie and, like, printer paper. And then my grandma took me to do a watercolor class, and because I would watch Danica Sills on YouTube all the time. If you don't know who she is, check her out. She's absolutely incredible. I learned pretty much everything that I know about watercolor from her. She does not keep anything, like, secret. She's not like, oh, well, it's a trade secret. No, she'll straight up tell you how she did something, how she figured it out, the process that she went through. It's awesome. It's like going to school, but the teacher's, like, stuttering too. I love her. I really want to have one of her originals one day, like, so bad. That's what I really want to do. I want to have one of her originals and just hang it up and be like, oh. Okay. But, yeah. So I did a watercolor class with my grandma, and the teacher told me something that I will never forget. She was teaching very, like, I mean, you guys know that I do, like, very surreal art, very kind of, like, sci-fi-ish looking, very witchy. At the time, I didn't really know how to draw people, and I sure as hell didn't know how to paint people. So I took something in, and I went to the teacher. She said, you have a really good grasp on color, but you need to work on your execution. And that, to me, told me that I was going in the right direction. I just wasn't taking the right road, if that makes any sense. So I sat down and I scrapped everything that I knew about drawing people beforehand. I threw it away. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this. And I just sat and I studied. And so the first year of me not having a job was me just watching YouTube, reading articles, checking out books, like sitting there and looking and learning and doing. I have so many old sketchbooks of just learning, and I've kept them so I can look back on them and see how far I've come. Ow. Sorry, sometimes you'll get a random pain, like, in your ribs, because they can sublux too. I didn't know that until it happened to me, and I was like, I'm dying. No, it's just very painful. And you have to stretch to kind of try to get it back in place. And it doesn't always work. And sometimes it's not even a sublux, it's a fibromyalgia thing. And fibromyalgia is just, hey, you hurt for no reason, because screw you. So I have that too, and it's very hard to try to differentiate pain from pain. It's freaking stupid, and it's very frustrating. So if that happens some today, sorry about that. But yeah, so I just sat down and I studied, and I would work. I would sit there and I would do art for about 12, 13 hours a day, every day, for about the first, like, 3 years that I was doing art. I would just sit down and I would not do anything else. I stayed in my house. I secluded myself from everyone. It was not a healthy way to go about it at all. And from doing that, I started to become more, like, anxious about going outside. And, before I knew it, 4 years had passed and I could not leave my house. I had agoraphobia. That's what that was. I was just kind of not dealing with my issues and just drawing and being like, oh, well, I can't leave because I have to do this, or oh, well, I can't leave, I have to do this, or oh, hey, can you go to the store instead of me because I'm busy, like, I'll video chat you, but I don't want to go, I can't leave. And that was just the reality of it. I could not leave. So for about 3 or 4 years, I didn't leave my house. Fast forward, I met Nick. And Nick's my boyfriend right now. I say right now because I'm gonna marry that boy. Look at him. Look at his face. I love that guy. He was my, like, it's funny, my mom brought him home from a writers group because she thought he was neat. He was new to our area and, like, you know, wanted to hang out with people and chill and stuff. And so she would hang out with him for a while. And they're not the same age or anything, but they would just chill for a while and talk about writing and talk about the activities that they were doing. And just more and more, he was over at our house. And so more and more I got to know him. And we became really good friends. And we started watching Adventure Time. And I am obsessed with Adventure Time. Like, it's unhealthy. Adventure Time, The Office, and Steven Universe. Just, I don't need anything else. I'm good. And the first few seasons of Grey's Anatomy, because, like, I don't know. I haven't watched the new ones. I might. I don't know. But, yeah, and so he, you know, was sitting there. I was very intimidated to talk to him at first, actually. I was pretty intimidated to talk to him because I thought he was so much smarter than me and so much cooler than me. And then it just turns out he's he is like ridiculously smart and cool, but he's also a giant goofball. He's a big old goof. And so we figured that out, and then it was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're my people. And then not too long after that, we started dating, and he taught me how to write, and he's helped me work on my anxiety and stuff, and then he got this job at the place that we work. And one day there was a really big order that needed to be done, and they needed help picking it. That's what I do. I'm a picker, and I I love it. But they needed help, so I went in and I was like, well, that sounds like something I can do and something I might be good at. Like, I can come in and help you get this done. That way you can come home sooner and we can, like, eat dinner, maybe watch a movie, chill. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah. And so I went in and I helped him with that. And I did that a couple of times before his boss came in. And I was just there. And he was like, oh, okay, you're here again? I was like, yeah, I'm just helping out, you know. I kind of like doing this. And he said, okay, cool, I'll put you on payroll. See you tomorrow. And I was like, wait, hold on. I have a ton of health issues, like, and I just laid them all out for him, and, like, the food allergies, the pain, the not being able to get up and move some days, not being able to walk some days, I can't pick stuff up that's really, really heavy because my shoulders will fall out, and he said, yeah, that's fine. I said, are you sure? And he said, come in when you can, and when you can't, we'll figure it out. You're hired. And it just, like, I came home and I cried, I freaked out. This was the first time that somebody had heard me out about what I needed to be able to function and worked with me so that I could, like, they didn't try to put me in a box and be like, well, you have to be here at this time and you have to do this and you have to wear this and you have to be this person. I can go in my pajamas. If there's a day that I'm not feeling good but I still want to go in, or they really need help, like, I've gone in my pajamas, I've gone in with my hair, like, not even brushed, just, like, thrown up in a messy bun. I just go in and I sit down, which is awesome. I get to sit down, which is a huge thing, and just do my job. I can listen to my headphones. If I'm hurting, like, there's a CVS down the street, I can go and I can get my medicine and I can come back and it's fine. There's food that I can eat because I have to be gluten-free. Like, he remembers my food allergies when he orders lunch for everybody. If he orders pizza or something, he will get me a gluten-free and a lactose-free one because he knows I can't have gluten and I'm lactose intolerant. He is the most incredible boss. So, I really like my job. I freaking love my job. And then I come home from that and I get to do art. And it's really cool. Another thing about me, I freaking love soda. Like, I am obsessed with soda because the way that my freaking organs work and all of that, sometimes I will not be able to burp if I don't have something carbonated. And I don't know if you've ever dealt with that, but it is very uncomfortable and it hurts. And it's just, ugh. So I have something fizzy with me almost always. And if I don't, then I'm in the process of going to get something that's fizzy so that I don't have to deal with that. Hi, Mimi. But yeah, living with EDS was very hard at first. Like, it was very, very difficult, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why. But then my mom got a diagnosis, and she finally figured it out. And the gene is I'm gonna say this wrong, autosomal dominant, I think is what it is. It's like if the mom has it, the kid has it. Excuse me. If the mom has it, the kid has it. And my mom told me the symptoms, and for a long time I was in denial. I was like, no, there's no way. No, it's fine. Like, I'm already an anxious little person. Like, that's probably just what it is. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And then one day I was walking, and okay, so here is my foot. So I was trying to get up and use the restroom, and my foot, when I stepped, it bent backwards. Like, here is the 90 degree, like, here's where your foot is usually supposed to be. Yeah. And here's where my foot was. And it snapped. I heard that, and I felt that, and I just crumpled to the ground. And I was positive that I had broken it. But once I crumpled to the ground, it flipped around and went this way, and it just... And so it hurt, but I was fine. And I was like, that should not work that way. That should not have worked that way. Maybe I do have this. And then she started telling me all the other things. Like, I didn't know that people's hands didn't do this. When I was a kid, I would get made fun of because I would do thumbs up like this, because it was just easier for me. I didn't understand why people would be like, freak out. And, yeah, I have to focus to keep my thumb like this. And if I pick up anything, as you can see, it bends backwards. And when I'm doing art, my fingers bend weird too. I have to be very careful. I have finger braces and stuff. I didn't know that stuff wasn't normal because it had done that since I was a kid. And so I didn't know anything else. I was just like, yeah, like, whatever. My finger just does this. Like, and everybody be like, well, it's not supposed to. And I'd be like, well, maybe I'm just talented. No. Yeah, and then, like, as I got older and trying to function with it, it was a time. Especially when I didn't know that I was gluten intolerant. Like, I was sick constantly. I was constantly sick. And, finally, I was able to figure that out. Like, I was at the point where I was going to see about, like a tube, like a feeding tube, because I could not keep anything down, even water. I couldn't keep anything down. I was so sick. I was losing weight. I was, like, almost to the point of passing out. Like, it was not healthy. And so, as a last-ditch effort, I looked up a whole bunch of, like, different kinds of diets and, like, different kinds of stuff, and I was ridiculously specific with my Google searches. And I found one that said gluten-free diet. And I was like, well, screw it, let's try that. And within 2 days, I felt better. I had gone to the doctor countless times, time after time after time, in excruciating pain, crying, freaking out because I was hungry and I couldn't eat and I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. Can you stop? And they would just look at me and shrug and be like, take an Advil when you get home. That's about all we can do. Wouldn't refer me to a specialist, wouldn't, like, listen to me. They would not hear me. They would not listen to my symptoms at all. They were just like, oh, well, sucks for you, bye, and move me along. And to finally have found something, I knew that I wasn't crazy. Like, it was hard. It was a really hard time. I don't like thinking about that time in my life, because I couldn't do anything. I was constantly terrified. I was getting sick. leave the house. I was getting better with my agoraphobia, but I was just as terrified that I was going to be out in public and I was going to get sick. And I was going to ruin things for people. I would ruin occasions. Like, I was just so, like, in my own head and freaking out. And then to have found this, and after 2 days, after about 3 years of feeling like crap, to finally even feel the slightest bit better was huge. And so now I have a gluten-free diet. I have a doctor that knows what Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is. A lot of them don't know, and I have to do this spiel and tell them all of my symptoms, and hey, maybe now I can just direct them to this video. They don't know what it is, and they call us zebras, because in the medical community they say when you hear hoofbeats, look for horses, not zebras. And that's telling the doctors, hey, it's probably the most simple thing. Don't go looking for a ridiculously rare or extreme case. Well, they call us zebras because it's not that common. And the hoofbeats are a zebra, a very angry, bendy, sick zebra. And so when I finally went in and I told a doctor, I was like, hey, so yeah, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. These are my symptoms. This is what it is. He stopped me and he went, yeah, I know what that is. And I said, what? He said, yeah, we studied that. I said, you tell me what it is. Like, I was suspicious. I was like, you tell me what you know about what I have. And he sat down and he explained, and I was like, all right. Yeah, that tracks. That's legit. Like, okay, what do we do? And since then, I've been going to that doctor, and he listens to me about my mental health and my physical health, and so I carry around a med bag. And if you've seen, like, on Instagram or something, maybe you've seen it. This is my med bag. That's fun. When I go to events and stuff and they have to check my bag, they open it and I'm like, yeah, I have a health condition. I've had people say, well, most girls carry a purse. I'm like, yeah, I know. What am I supposed to say to that? But okay. And yeah, so I have my med bag and I have my gluten-free diet, and I have a job that, gives a crap. And a boyfriend and a family and friends that have, like, actually done the research and studied it and listen. Like, even some of my friends will push me around in my chair sometimes if I can't walk, and it's just, it was really hard for a really long time, and I felt very alone, I felt very stupid, I felt very sick, and I felt very weak, and now I don't. Like, it's still hella difficult. Like, it's still, waking up in pain every day, not being able to do things that most people my age would be able to do, having to eat different, not feeling included in, like, social events if there's not food there that I can eat or things there that I can do. But when I have my people around me, I know that I'm good, if that makes sense. And so that's really cool. And you guys, too, like, with my art, I would not be where I am today if it weren't for my art and it weren't for you guys. Because the people that sit there and listen, like, you've seen my health change throughout the years. You've seen my art grow throughout the years. I have stuff, like, when I first started, I was like, well, maybe I'll sell a couple things here and there to family members. And now I have people that are coming back, like, from across the world and saying that they like my art and they want my art and they support it and share it and talk about it, and it's crazy. And don't get me wrong, I know that I'm not, like, this big YouTube artist, because I hardly ever do YouTube, or, like, a big Instagram artist or anything, but, I'm getting there, and I'm working on it, and I have the privilege of knowing who's here for that, like, the friends that I've made, and the people that I've talked to, the people who have helped me, like, I know who's legit, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't get to have, and I'm really grateful. So, it wasn't really a day in the life of EDS, it was more of how I got to the day in the life of EDS, but that's this video, and I was talking about my health, and I said that there would be something art-related. I can make stickers now! My friends, Matt and Becca in Chicago, I can say that now. I have friends in Chicago. Hi, guys. they got me, like, they were in Target and they saw this little sticker book. They were like, ooh, and so they got that for me, and it was really cool and it was really thoughtful, and I have a lot of fun with it, and I have put stickers on almost everything that I own now. Like, it's a little bit of a problem. I want to figure out a way to make better stickers, so stick around. Pun not intended, but fantastic. And see, now I can move around more. Like, my shoulders are still kind of stiff, but, like, with my head and my arms and stuff, like, I can move around. Yeah. I was saying something, and I lost it. Hold on. What was it? See, I'm not gonna cut any of this out, because this is what my daily life is. I want to figure out how to make stickers. That's what I was doing. Yeah. So I want to, like, try to get a little bit of a digital setup and maybe get a scanner and a printer one day. And I'm still in the process of making my graphic novel. I know I said it'll be done before fall, but I have 2 jobs and I'm very sick. Like, I have to take it easy on myself. I have to go easier on myself and not push myself as hard, or I'll fall apart by the time I'm 30, and then no one will have a good time. So, you know, it is what it is. But I am still working on it. It is still a thing. And if you stick around to the end of this video, hold on. This is what I have done of it so far. This is the opening page, the Wanderer. You guys have seen her. I love her. This is the first portfolio that I filled. And this is the second one that I have filled. I have a few more to do back here, but then this one will be full. And immediately after this one, I know where I'm going with it, so I've already bought another portfolio to fill. I'm working on it. It is still happening. I want to try to get a scanner so that I can, like, publish episodes, maybe? I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Let me know in the comments what you would like more, because I want this to be cool. Like, I've had a lot of fun with it, and I know a lot of people aren't excited about it, but a few are, and so for you guys, like, let me know what you want, because I want to make this as cool as possible for you. And, yeah, I think that's just about it. I'm gonna go figure out something to eat. I don't even know what I have here. I gotta figure out something to eat. Ooh, peanut butter and crackers. And Reese cups. Now that I have a decent acid reflux medicine, I can eat as much peanut butter as I want, which is awesome because I freaking love peanut butter. Oh, and Reese's cups are gluten-free. Like, it says it on the package, and that, like, since it's close to Halloween, that's awesome. Make more stuff gluten-free. Like, put it on the package. Even if it is, put it on the package so OCD paranoid people like me can eat it and not be terrified. But yeah, so I'm gonna go and figure that out and work more on Inktober, because I work ahead, because, you know, some days I can't move. So I do days ahead of time, and so far I've gotten 21 done. I have 10 more to go, and then I want to do some more cool stuff in the back of the sketchbook. And I don't know, you'll see at the end of the month. It's gonna be cool. I promise. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I don't really know why I decided to make this today, but that's kind of my life story. Like, you know, just the health stuff sprinkled in there. If you want more story times like this, let me know what you would like me to talk about. Like, I have some wild stories. Like, it's, yeah. But yeah, then if you want more health stuff or have any, you know, like, specific things that you want me to talk about, don't just be like, what's this? If you want, like, a video about a certain symptom or, like, how I do stuff, let me know. And yeah, maybe I'll be able to do this more often, because even though this was difficult, like, it was kind of fun, and it's going to be kind of cool to have it out there so people can, like, know what's up. I'll see you guys next time.